I'm not even gonna lie, I've been trying to think about ways to start this video off for like 20 minutes, but I can't say anything other than holy sh**, she's finally leaving! Hey y'all, SnarkyJay cosplay here. So as of the time of this video's recording, the big news out of the Star Wars universe right now is that Kathleen Kennedy is finally set to leave Star Wars and Lucasfilm for good at the end of this year. This is the first time we really hear any speculation. Supposedly, she told a source very close to her that she is planning on leaving after a very mixed 13-year run, basically running Star Wars into the ground. At this time, her reign of terror seems to finally be coming to an end. For 13 years, we've waited for this. And for those of you that don't know, I'm Cuban, and we have a saying that says, no hay mal que dure 100 años, which basically means there's no evil that lasts 100 years. And thankfully, Kathleen Kennedy's absolute destruction of the Star Wars franchise seems to be coming to a close after a terrible 13 years. And genuinely, I feel like celebrating. I've got the champagne on ice downstairs. And to celebrate, I brought back out the Boba Fett dress because I'm finally less bitter about this whole situation. My God, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, but I know we want to celebrate. I know we want to cheer, wake up the bubbly, all that shit. But let's really talk about what this could mean. So at the end of the day, we know now that Kathleen Kennedy, if she really is leaving, because some people are saying this is just speculation, I choose hope. I choose optimism. Never tell me the odds. I'm betting that she is gonna leave because, you know, she's not exactly a spring chicken anymore, and why would you want to stick around where you're very obviously not wanted because the fans have been cheering for her to be fired or leave, or for her to go start a goddamn colony on the moon away from Star Wars for years. Now, the situation is the following. We still have another year. If she leaves at the end of 2025, we are currently in February. But with as long as it takes to get any Star Wars productions off the ground, realistically, if she tried to sign on and make anything happen, like, gee, I don't know, an Acolyte Season 2 or some stupid shit like that, odds are she just doesn't have enough time to get the ball rolling, and anything she tries to sign off on right now, for instance, would not be done and would likely be thrown out the window with the next guy or gal that takes control of Lucasfilm and Star Wars come 2026. So realistically, 2025 is like a senior year of Kathleen Kennedy just coasting. She's definitely not gonna have enough time to get the ball rolling on that Rey movie that we pretty much already know is just her trying to push this shit. I mean, realistically, we could be totally done with getting the kind of bullshit that Kathleen Kennedy signs off on. I mean, the franchise could really be saved. But the problem is that Kathleen Kennedy does not work alone. There is always two or several when it comes to Disney shareholders. I don't know. The point is that, look, we need to look at things realistically, right? We can put all the blame on Kathleen Kennedy. Realistically, we do, and a lot of it is deserving. I would say about 85% of the blame is valid when it's placed on Kathleen Kennedy. But the fact of the matter is that Kathleen Kennedy does not operate in isolation. Kathleen Kennedy has been able to get as much bullshit made, as much trash approved. I mean, Star Wars has literally gone down the toilet, not because of one woman. The Force might be female, but it's not that female. Unfortunately, there's other shareholders and other people at stake, other people all whispering into the same ear to end up producing this kind of garbage. There's a lot of people that have bought into this shit, and that's why we've seen the continuous failures, the box office bombs, the absolute trash ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, the garbage on Disney Plus. This is not all just happening because of Kathleen Kennedy. And even now, in the spirit of celebration, I have to ask myself, who the is gonna take over for Kathleen Kennedy? Because realistically, you think she's gonna pick some super based guy that tells her everything she does is wrong? No, she's probably gonna pick somebody who sings her praises. And Lord help us, do not let it be Leslie Headland. If we're talking speculation here, besides Leslie Headland, which would be a nightmare if it actually happened, I think that there are two big names that could potentially take over when Kathleen Kennedy leaves. The first of which is Dave Filoni, which to me seems like the more obvious choice for Star Wars. Would I agree with Dave Filoni taking over? No, because after I heard what he's doing with the Mandalorian movie and basically just bringing in his self-insert and it's all just going to hell in a handbasket, I think Dave Filoni is great with animated content, not so much with the real shit. So I wouldn't want to see him take over Star Wars. I know, unpopular opinion. Put away your torches and pitchforks, I'm not interested. I personally would love to see Jon Favreau take over for Kathleen Kennedy. Jon Favreau, I think, is a killer when it comes to production and stuff. I think he genuinely could do a fantastic job. He's been in Hollywood for a long time. He's made a lot of great movies. I think that those would be the safest possible hands to put Star Wars in, especially because Jon Favreau did great work with Star Wars, and I feel like when we started seeing The Mandalorian, for instance, going to it was because Jon Favreau got a little more hands-off and let other people take creative control. I think right now it's probably going to be between Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I think an argument could be made for Kathleen wanting to leave it all to Leslie Headland, but I also don't think anybody would be insane enough over there to give Leslie Headland the keys to the kingdom after the disaster that was The Acolyte, but stranger things have definitely happened. The point, folks, is that even without speculation, this information that we have is tangible. Even though last year we had conversations about the fact that supposedly Kathleen Kennedy said she wanted to go out on a win, maybe she's finally gotten tired of taking beatings with Star Wars crap that she's made, or maybe her win is going to be season 2 of Andor, which is coming out in just a few weeks. Maybe she's gonna call that her thing when we all know it's not. But either way, guys, this is huge. This could be huge for all of us. Think about how many of us have almost given up on Star Wars as a franchise. I don't take pleasure in being mad about Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars has been my life for years. Do you know how sad it makes me that the only piece of Star Wars merchandise in my entire office anymore is him? Maybe this could be a renaissance of Star Wars. Maybe this was our dark ages. Maybe this was the bubonic plague, and we were all infected with the sores of apathy, disgust, and disdain. And now perhaps all the sores will begin to heal. Perhaps whoever is going to take over Star Wars shows up in one of those fancy bird masks with the lavender in the end so they don't have to smell the disease stink. You know, maybe they show up and they save us and they cure us and we enter a new age of new Star Wars content that's good and exciting and worth watching and playing, and we start buying posters and t-shirts and we show up in Star Wars cosplays again and we cry over helmets. The idea of this, I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps right now. It sounds insane, but the fact that we could get back to a place where we could love Star Wars, we can celebrate Star Wars, the fact that it could once again be the thing that I loved so much, because we could really be experiencing a big change in leadership and therefore a shift in the agendas, a shift in the messaging, a shift in the content strategies. This could be amazing. Now again, I know I've basically gone off the deep end celebrating here, and I didn't want to, but unfortunately I'm just too happy about this. We could still end up with somebody just as bad as Kathleen Kennedy. It's entirely a possibility, but personally, I choose to believe that this news that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down at the end of 2025 is going to be a new hope. And that's all from me. I've been SnarkyJay. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For more SnarkyJay, be sure to check me out on Instagram, and if you'd like to support me, this channel, and my content creation, do check out and consider subscribing to my Patreon for exclusive photo shoot sets and cosplay content. I'll add links to all of those in the description below. And let me know your thoughts on Kathleen Kennedy finally stepping down in the comments below.